Hello, passionate Celtic FC fans. This is Celtic Central News, your exclusive source for Celtic updates. Before we kick off, we appreciate the incredible support. If you love Celtic, subscribe now, hit like, and let's build this community together. Now onto the latest news, a warm welcome to new subscribers. Your support is crucial. Hail, hail! Alright folks, here we go. This is the week every Celtic supporter's been waiting for. The moment when that famous premiership trophy gets lifted high into the Glasgow sky once again. You can almost picture it now, can't you? Callum McGregor standing there, arms raised, the silverware glistening, the fans roaring in celebration. It's not quite in our hands yet, but it's only a matter of days before it becomes official. Another title secured, another chapter added to this club's incredible history. But that's not all that's happening. We've also got a rare midweek fixture to enjoy. That's right, Celtic are back under the lights during the week for the first time since February, and that's always a bit special. 2 games in 1 week. A treat we should savor, especially knowing that by the end of next weekend, the season will be wrapped up. So every minute counts now. Every touch, every tackle, every goal, we'll be soaking it all in, knowing the finish line is right there. And who knows, maybe a couple more trophies will be hoisted before we call it a day. Now while we're busy enjoying the here and now, it's impossible not to cast an eye forward. There's some important news brewing regarding the UEFA Champions League playoff round and Celtic's potential seeding. This is a subject that always stirs up debate because being seeded can make a world of difference. It doesn't guarantee success, of course, but it sure makes the path a little less treacherous. The key here is simple for Celtic to be seeded. We need at least 4 of 8 specific teams not to be present in that playoff round. That's been the equation for a while, and now we've had a few crucial updates. First, Bodo Glimt. They're confirmed to be in the playoff round after getting knocked out of the Europa League by Spurs. Not the best news since they'll be seeded, but it's the reality we're dealing with. On the flip side, some favorable results have come our way. Olympiacos are already through to the league phase of the Champions League, which means they're out of this particular equation. That's 1 spot freed up. Then there's Shakhtar Donetsk. They've officially fallen out of the title race in Ukraine, so they won't be a factor either. 2 down! The latest good news came from Austria, where Red Bull Salzburg have been eliminated from the title race. They can't win their league anymore, which ticks off a 3rd team from that danger list. So now we're down to 4 key teams left in this battle, and we only need one of them to stumble for Celtic to secure that seeded spot. The 4 remaining are Crvena Zvezda, Dinamo Zagreb, FC Copenhagen, and Ferencvaros. Now, Crvena Zvezda's case is a bit unique. They've already clinched the Serbian league title and will enter the 2nd qualifying round, which is 2 rounds before Celtic get involved. But UEFA's seeding calculations can be a little tricky, and there's a detail there we'll circle back to in a moment. Focusing on the other 3, Zagreb are in 2nd place in Croatia, trailing by a single point with just 2 matches remaining. It's tight, but there's still hope. Over in Denmark, Copenhagen sit at the top, but again, it's only a 1-point lead with 2 games to play. And in Hungary, Ferencvaros have a 3-point cushion, which might seem more comfortable, but nothing is guaranteed until that final whistle blows. So the equation is simple for us. If Dinamo Zagreb, Copenhagen, or Ferencvaros fail to win their domestic leagues, Celtic will be confirmed as a seeded team in the Champions League playoff round before the summer even kicks off. No more sitting around in June and July biting our nails wondering who we'll face. We'll know. Plain and simple. However, if all 3 of them clinch their titles, then it gets complicated. We'd be relying on those teams to stumble in the earlier Champions League qualifiers, which is never a position you want to be in. There's another nuance to consider, as pointed out by one of our sharp-eyed viewers who flagged up a crucial bit of UEFA bureaucracy. Essentially, the draw for the playoff round is made before the 3rd qualifying round has even been played. So a team like Crvena Zvezda, who enter in the 2nd round, would only need to navigate that first tie to be included in the playoff draw. This means we could find ourselves in a situation where we're drawn against a team who hasn't even reached that round yet, but by virtue of the draw timing, they're penciled in. So let's paint a scenario. If Crvena Zvezda, Copenhagen, and Ferencvaros all do their job in the league, win their qualifying ties, they'll be in that playoff draw. If Celtic are unseeded, we could face the prospect of a tie against, say, Dinamo. Zagreb or Malmo. Not ideal, but that's the harsh reality of the Champions League qualifiers. You never want to leave it to chance, but sometimes that's the hand you're dealt. For those of you keeping track, then the Croatian, Danish, and Hungarian leagues have suddenly become of great interest. Zagreb slipping up Copenhagen, dropping. Points Ferencváros faltering. Those are the results we're rooting for. Every twist and turn could directly influence Celtic's path to Europe's top table. One silver lining amidst all this is that we already have one confirmed team in the playoff round with a lower coefficient than Celtic Basel. The Swiss champions, who've not lifted the domestic title since 2017, have finally done it again. Their UEFA coefficient is below ours, which is a big tick in our favor. If Celtic end up seeded, there's a real chance we could be facing Basel in that round. An intriguing matchup to say the least. Basel, by the way, are a club with some familiar names. Xherdan Shaqiri, who began his career there, is back and recently bagged a hat trick. They've also got Albion Ajeti on their books, a name that might bring back some mixed memories for Celtic fans. Fun fact, Ajeti scored and got himself sent off in the same match last weekend. Classic stuff. Now, look, being seeded doesn't hand you a golden ticket to the group stages. You still have to win that all-important tie, and it'll be against a good team, no question. But avoiding a side like Bodo Glimt with their Europa League pedigree certainly helps the cause. The path is tricky enough without adding more obstacles. Switching gears, let's touch briefly on the win over Hibernian on Saturday. Another solid performance, another step towards the title. Adam Idah's name came up again, and rightly so. He found the net once more, bringing his tally to 19 goals this season. For a player who spent a significant chunk of the campaign as a second-choice striker, that's a respectable haul. There's been a fair bit of chatter around Idah, and I think it's worth diving into. Some fans give him flack saying he's not clinical enough, not consistent enough, but when you look at the raw numbers he's delivering, his goals per minute ratio is impressive. He averages a goal roughly every 116 minutes across. All competitions. To put that into context, if he played 90 minutes every match across, say, 40 to 50 games, he'd be looking at somewhere between 31 and 39 goals. That's no small feat, but it's not just about the goals. His hold-up play, his movement, his ability to drag defenders out of position. These are all elements that often go unnoticed. Fans understandably focus on goals and assists, but the game is more nuanced than that. Idah creates space, allows others to thrive, and his work off the ball is invaluable. That said, it's fair to acknowledge his inconsistency. His season's been a bit of a roller coaster, scoring in bunches then going through prolonged droughts. He'll bang in a couple of goals, look unstoppable, and then hit a barren spell. It's been peaks and troughs all year. You can't ignore that. At the start of the season, he went 4 games without a goal, then suddenly hit a purple patch, scoring 4 in 3 matches. After that, it was a slog again with just 1 goal in 8 games before another little flurry. And then came the long drought, over a dozen games without finding the net. But when he did break that streak, he did it in style netting a brace against Aston Villa. But that's the kind of player he is, a confident striker. When he's on a run, he's dangerous. When he's short on confidence, it shows. His contributions might not always be flashy, but they're there. For example, against Hibs, his physical battle in the box created the opening for Kun to score, even if Idah didn't get the assist. He himself admitted post-match that a lot of his work goes unnoticed. He talked about the analysis he does with the coaching staff, highlighting his unselfish runs and the spaces he opens up for teammates. And he's right. Fans aren't always watching those finer details. They see the goals, they see the missed chances, but the gritty stuff often flies under the radar. Now, whether Idah is the long-term solution as Celtic's main striker is still up for debate. Many believe we need to bring in another forward, someone who can lead the line consistently. But Idah's first season has been solid. If he ends up hitting 20 goals, which looks likely, that's a respectable return. The issue perhaps is perception. Because of the transfer fee paid for him, expectations were sky high. People wanted another Moussa Dembélé, another Odsonne Edouard. And while Idah might not be at that level, it doesn't mean he's not valuable. Transfer fees shouldn't dictate how we assess a player's contribution. Sometimes a player needs time to develop, to adapt, and Idah is still on that journey. Before wrapping up, there's one more topic worth mentioning, the Fairer Deal for Fans campaign. Over the weekend, Celtic's North Curve displayed a banner calling for better treatment of football supporters. They weren't alone, fan. Groups from clubs like Dundee United, Motherwell, and St. Johnstone joined in solidarity. Rising ticket prices, poor fan experiences, heavy-handed policing. These are real issues that affect the matchday experience in Scotland. Supporters are the lifeblood of the game here. No other country matches Scotland's per capita attendance figures. Yet despite this incredible passion, fans are often treated as an afterthought. Campaigns like this aim to change that narrative, reminding the authorities that without fans, football loses its soul. Looking ahead, there's still plenty to be excited about. A midweek clash against Aberdeen Trophy Day at the weekend versus St. Mirren, and then of course the Scottish Cup final. It's a thrilling end to the season with silverware and glory up for grabs. Right, that's it from me for now. Big few days coming up, and we'll be here every step of the way. Before we proceed, subscribe to our channel and enable notifications to receive all exclusive news about Celtic FC. Don't miss any details about your favorite team. It's extremely important for Celtic FC fans. In a move that is already sending waves through Scottish football, Real BETIS winger Abd Ezzalzouli has officially confirmed his transfer to Celtic, marking a significant step in both his career and the club's ambitions. The Moroccan international, known for his electrifying pace and flair on the ball, arrives in Glasgow with high expectations as Celtic look to strengthen their attacking options ahead of a busy domestic and European campaign. Ezzalzouli, often referred to simply as Abde, made headlines in Spain during his time at Barcelona and later Betis, where his technical ability and direct style of play made him a standout figure. His move to Celtic signals a bold statement from the Scottish champions, who are clearly not content with resting on their domestic laurels. Abde brings not only top-tier La Liga experience, but also international pedigree, having represented Morocco at the World Cup and in African competition. Speaking upon arrival, Abde expressed his excitement at joining one of Scotland's most storied clubs. "I'm honored to be here. Celtic is a club with great history and incredible fans. I can't wait to get started and give everything for the shirt," he said. His signing is expected to inject further creativity into Brendan Rodgers' side, adding an extra dimension to their wing play. The Parkhead faithful will be eager to see their new man in action, and with Celtic competing on multiple fronts, including the Champions League qualifiers and the Scottish premiership, Abdi's arrival could not be timelier. His dribbling prowess and ability to beat defenders in one-on-one situations could prove decisive in breaking down stubborn defenses, something Celtic have occasionally struggled with in past seasons. Abde's decision to make the switch to Scotland underscores the growing appeal of a Scottish game and the draw of Celtic as a stepping stone to greater European success. While it remains to be seen how quickly he adapts to the physical demands of Scottish football, there's no doubt that the Hoops have secured a player of immense potential. As the new season looms, all eyes will be on the Moroccan winger, too. See if he can live up to the hype and light up Celtic Park in the green and white. Hello, fan! Don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel, as it means a lot to Celtic FC. Also, share your opinion about the news in the comments below. See you in the next video.